Blue Jean Baby, LA Lady, Seamstress for the band. Oh, pretty eyes, pirate smile. She married a music man. Oh, yes she did. Ballerina, you must have seen her dancing in the sand. Now she's with me. Always, okay, whatever. Don't hold me closer to this show, Tiny Dancer. It's the hardest part of the ring. We are talking about Raw, January 25th, 2021. My name is Bob. How the heck are you crazy cats, you wild savages, you rabid dogs, frothing at the mouth, chomping at the bit, drool dribbling down your chin. There's no stopping you, head to head, toe to toe, nose to nose, chest to chest. Hip to that scene out of here like Vladimir, chilling like Bob Dylan on penicillin. We're talking about Raw, and it's the go-home show for the Royal Rumble. This is the stay home and turn out the lights and hide under the covers and don't tell anyone you're home show for the Royal Rumble. Oh, my goodness gracious. Oh, heavens me. Heavens to Murgatroyd. Heavens to Betsy every which way from Sunday. Sweet mother of pearl. What are they doing? I don't know what I'm seeing anymore. Oh, goodness gracious. Is there anything I want to talk about beforehand? No? Okay. Well, we'll talk about the Rumble for a little bit. Pardon me after this. We open the Hulu edition with limited commercial interruption. 90-minute action packed. I can't get that out with a straight face anymore. 90-minute action-packed version of WWE Raw for January 25th, 2021 opens with Hulk Hogan slamming Andre the Giant and a hip-hop themed entrance. A theme to the show, whatever it is, not an entrance. Drew McIntyre is back from COVID. No more realistic promos where he can look into the camera. He's got to say dumb things now. He put on his kilt for this promo, and he summoned the Thundercats with his sword. And I wrote down in quotes, like a leader, because when he talked about being home and COVID and this, that, and the other thing, he sounded like an actual leader. Drew McIntyre did more to lead the nation through the pandemic than our 45th U.S. president. His 46th time will tell. Anyway, Drew McIntyre talks about Goldberg. Maybe it was a little bit of a blessing in disguise. For the last 2 weeks, we got less Goldberg-Drew hype. I don't know the answer to that question. But Miz and Morrison, they come out. They say the things you know they're going to say about Money in the Bank, and they do the correct thing, which isn't over with anyone. It would not be over with a live crowd. I know it's not supposed to be their heels, but they're trying to be cool heels, but it still wouldn't work. Anyway, Goldberg arrives. Hey, what do you know? Goldberg arrives. And then he's in Drew's face. And then they both drag Miz and Morrison into the ring. We have a spear on Miz. We have a Claymore on Morrison. And then we stare at each other again. This was all right. This was simple. This Roddy Piper used to love when him and another babyface would back off some heels, and they would back up after fighting off heels. He'd bump into another babyface. They turn around, they stare at each other. They almost punch each other, but they don't. They did one with I think he did one with Jake Roberts fighting off the Macho King Randy Savage and Ted DiBiase in a 1990 Royal Rumble. 1990 is an underrated Rumble, by the way. I think it's the most well-booked, perfect Rumble in many ways. A lot of legends in that, and star power, and that is ridiculous too. But yeah, 1990 is a good one. 92 gets all the love, but 91 was a dud. I don't know what happened with 91. But be that as it may, we could talk about the 91 Rumble some other time. It was 30 years ago. The anniversary was a couple days ago. I think I'm more excited for the 1991 Royal Rumble. Let's move on. Charlie Caruso is talking to Charlotte Flair. They recap the Lacey Evans wearing Ric Flair's robe, which brings us to Shayna Baszler versus Charlotte. Oh man, what a big dream match on a 3-hour show with time to kill. So Shayna Baszler and Charlotte Flair go 3 minutes before Nia interrupts. with a leg drop, and they beat her up and everything else. I don't know why this happened. Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose come out. This match didn't make Hulu, but did Dana Brooke, did she get injured by Nia Jax? I saw a GIF of or a short video. I don't know if it was technically a GIF. It might have had audio of Nia Jax slamming Dana Brooke and not letting her take her own goddamn bump, which to Samoan School, my history in Hazleton, Pennsylvania, early 2000s, WXW, the Samoan School has a history of saying it's okay to do that with smaller or underneath talent. You just don't let them take their own bump. You just give them the full force slam. They would let Snitsky do it to us after we cooled down, and it sucked ass, and a lot of us got hurt that way. That's some information for you. Okay. So they do a DQ. Mandy and Dana run out, big brawl. I don't know if anything else came of this. I forgot. Anyway, the Hurt Business is in the VIP lounge, and they show appreciation for MVP, but Cedric and Shelton, Cedric keeps interrupting Shelton and disrespecting him, and it's getting heated. And they give a nice necklace that says THB, which stands for the Hurt Business. Why wouldn't it just say HB? It doesn't matter. So there's some arguing, and R-Truth comes out, and he misunderstands. He thinks THB means Truth Happy Birthday, which is the only reason I think the T would be on the thing to begin with. Actually, no, it would still work with HB. It doesn't matter. So the Hurt Business said Truth can come into the ring for a surprise where they're clearly planning to beat him up. But then the 24/7 guys, or all the guys who aren't on the TV show, chase Truth and roll. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Shayna and Charlotte gets 9,000 stars. Somebody rolls up Truth and doesn't pin him. It was a kick out, which is good. It makes no sense why all of a sudden half the roster is vulnerable to schoolboys out of nowhere. That sounded bad out of context. Matt Riddle gets a cheap shot on Bobby Lashley to set up some kind of gauntlet where Riddle's going to wrestle all of them later on. Why are there 9 guys hiding in the back to do 20 seconds of work, and then 3 other wrestlers got to wrestle 80 times? I don't understand what's going on. Sheamus wrestles John Morrison in a nice long match. I like this match. I like this match a lot. It's hard hitting. Sheamus is wailing on you, and you can hear it. He's one of the few that's benefited in this type of no-fan scenario where you can hear everything he's doing. They stayed very grounded, and I guess I could kind of tell why. They had to keep everyone non-injured. Well, everyone's either injured or got COVID. And also not, I guess not to go totally crazy because it was going to become a handicap match later for no reason. We'll get to that. But this was great. It's hard when your babyface is bigger, significantly more bigger, and has more mass than you in this case. So Morrison, there are 2 things I liked. He did the old work the leg, and he did all sorts of ground wrestling, which was, kind of parkourish and hopping around him, but it didn't make Sheamus look bad. And whenever Morrison evaded Sheamus's offense, he would evade it and maybe do it in sort of a wacky parkourish way, which he would do, but it didn't require Sheamus to dance along with him. Whereas when Johnny Gargano from NXT has a match with Damian Priest, it makes Priest wrestle Gargano's match, and it just never looks right. So great job by Morrison and Sheamus. I really enjoyed this. Sheamus won with his, not quite his finisher, setup move, the white noise, and I guess we see why. So Sheamus wins the thing. And Miz out of nowhere has the right to challenge Sheamus to a 2-on-1 handicap match at the same time, which makes no sense. So they let it happen, of course, and they do this match, and they just kind of beat up Sheamus, and he fights back, and then they beat him. Miz pins him with his skull thingy, and Miz is the one with the briefcase going into the pay-per-view, so okay. Charlotte confronts... What the fuck? Charlotte Flair confronts her dad, Ric Flair, after Ric Flair was doing the old waistlock, hammerlock, show Lacey behind her sexual innuendo thing, which kind of made me chuckle, I don't understand this segment. I don't understand the father and daughter are mad at each other. I don't understand. Lacey eventually sneaks back in the room and punches Charlotte in the back of the head and beats her up. And Ric Flair kind of stares at Charlotte. and Lacey drags him away. Like he wouldn't be mad that his daughter, and you could hear them doing the woo down the hallway. But, why would I believe this? Oh, and this was not the least believable thing on the program. Oh man, we have a streak going with Raw. The Thunderdome is shown just by itself and is an actual thunder noise and is referred to as the award-winning Thunderdome. We have yet to know exactly what the award is. I'm surprised so many people on Raw are coming down with COVID, considering how sterile the production is. Next, we get a promo from Mr. Wrestling 2, and he's got burns on his face, and he's going to give someone a knee lift. He's very upset. How old am I? Alexa Bliss is on a swing, and she is making some serious chicken salad here out of the chicken shit. She's trying, and you'll see later, like she's acting her ass off, and she is trying to make this work. And boy, another reason, if you needed more reasons to want live fans back, this stuff would go away or be curbed and changed. And this stuff, the thing we want to be watered down would be this stuff, and they finally, but they'd have no choice. Anyway, she's going to wrestle Asuka for the championship this time, and she calls it a shiny new toy. Remember that phrase. Matt Riddle wrestles the gauntlet of all the Hurt Business. He wrestles Shelton. You know what's going to happen here. There's going to be some Cedric fuckery, and there was. Cedric was distracting, and he cost Shelton, who was rolling up Riddle with the tights, which was a nice touch, because we don't want to suggest that Shelton had Riddle be clean, but nevertheless, Shelton had it won, quote-unquote. Cedric messes up, distracts the referee, Shelton gets rolled up. MVP is very upset, and I like that. MVP acted very realistic during all of this. MVP, incidentally, jumps in next, and in seconds, doesn't do much physicality. He doesn't even hear the bell. He's trying to stop his guys from killing each other. He gets hooked in a submission and just taps right away and gets backed up. So now it's Cedric and Riddle. And there's a lot of MVPs yelling at Cedric for not hooking a leg and cradling the head. Actual wrestling things. The MVP was the MVP of that. I hate saying that. Was the MVP of the segment, but he was, and he wrestled for 20 seconds. Riddle was great in this too. He sold, and he fought out from underneath. He had to fight the three guys, and I guess he wins a U.S. title shot, which I assume would be at the Rumble. They really didn't make it clear. But so Riddle won with a victory roll. You don't see many victories with a victory roll anymore. But the entire gauntlet, all three matches, gets 6,014 stars. What did Miz and Morrison get? That got 24 stars. They don't mean anything. The stars are not real. I'm recording this in my living room. I can't record in my bedroom because my neighbor has had, I think it's a couple, they've had their TV on crazy loud for like 14 hours now. I didn't go over. I'm a coward, but I banged on a wall. And, I think they just left. That's the thing. I don't think they're home. Because I can usually hear their dumb, loud conversations. So I think they just took off. Or someone's dead. And I hope one of my neighbors or both is dead. I hope it's a murder-suicide. And they just left their TV on loudly. And I want the TV because I don't have a TV. But if I have it, I'll put the volume on lower. But I'd like their TV. So that means if they're dead, the place is not only noisy, but it'll smell soon. But at least someone will complain of the death smell. I don't know what dead body smells like, but I'll take it right now over the noise. I hope they're dead. Oh, music. Hey, man. I work nights. I need to sleep in the day. I don't know what they're doing. The music for... Lashley attacks... Talk about 50-50 booking. So Lashley attacks Riddle after the gauntlet. I like overpronouncing words. The King's English, pal. And he puts the full Nelson on him and smacks him in the barricade, which it doesn't make any sense why you would grab the sweatiest guy in the room when you're wearing a suit and apply a move like that. But besides the point. Puts the Hurt Lock on him and shakes him all around. It's bad enough to have your entrance music play for your run-in, or your when you're saving somebody, or interrupting somebody. Well, actually, that makes sense because you would want to interrupt them. But I've never seen entrance music played for a deliberate sneak attack. Because it made, thankfully, Riddle turned around. He had to give a little of delay on it, like a 2-second delay, but it makes sense that he would turn around if he hears the music, and of course the lights from the screen change as well. That's worse than having entrance music for a run-in. That defeats, especially because it would have been such a last minute. In theory, in kayfabe world, you would have to be mad, watch on the monitor, run through whatever gorilla positions or stage, whatever, run through, quickly say, "Hey, play my music, I'm gonna kick that guy's ass." Then you get out. Doesn't make any sense. They're not trying. Speaking of, but who is trying? This Edge promo was fantastic. It was a little long, but whatever. We had time to fill, and Edge is great at what he does anyway. Edge told a nice long story about having to retire in the past and coming back at the Rumble and proving himself and all this. And again, this is the Legends. They don't script nearly as much. I'm sure he had some bullet points. Like he didn't even really need them. It was a simple story. I think he said he's entering the Rumble. I'm pretty sure he's entering the Rumble. So this was fantastic. You believed that? I believed every word he said because it was real. He did cut a real promo. It was like 99 true things, and the only not true thing being that the outcome is actually predetermined. So why wouldn't I believe him? Great to see. Great to see. He was alone. He was in the ropes. He didn't have a Mr. Wrestling 2 mask on, which was unfortunate. It was dark. But darker days are ahead of us because Asuka and Alexa. Asuka defends the championship, the Raw Women's Championship, next in a main event. 2 weeks in a row, this main event. So Alexa's had all the main event segments. They love her. And Alexa's acting her ass off. They had like a good 4 or 5 minute match, and then we cut to Alexa in a rocking horse with pink lighting, and then a break. And remember she said shiny new toy. The announcers had to say, refer to the championship as Alexa's hopeful shiny new toy 90 times, because that was the catchphrase of the day. People don't talk. Like, adults don't talk like this. Even kids don't talk like this. They're just weirdos. This whole show is a group of weirdos who only talk this weird way. There's a lot to unpack. The goddess transformation. Oh, so we got to see Alexa in her old gear for a minute. Well, as if like the old Alexa was like trying to get out. And I could be okay with all of a sudden her snapping out of it and going, what the, but why is she changing gear and makeup like 3 times throughout the match? Because she changes again, and now she's got the dark stuff on and the dark lipstick and makeup and all that. And she tried to smear it again, but it wouldn't smear, which is funny. And now Asuka, who apparently stood there and watched Alexa change outfits. No. Apparently this freaked out Asuka, and she put the Asuka lock on Alexa, and this is the thing where Alexa's wearing all black. Now she's blocking and ducking and dodging Asuka's offense. And finally, she still gets super evil Alexa in the Hurt Lock, in the Asuka lock. But Asuka, Jesus, this is hard to fathom, folks. Alexa puts the mandible claw on Asuka, and I really thought Alexa was going to win a title right there. I really did. I don't know why I thought that, but I did. And Randy Orton shows up with the hives, or the measles, or the chicken pox, whatever the fuck he's got, and he gives the RKO to Alexa. Okay, and then the thing ends, I guess. I had a funny feeling if Alexa doesn't win the thing, well, then it's a non-finish, because Asuka's not beating her. Champions don't beat anybody. Especially Asuka. She's always the, we don't know why you're the champion. We're going to pretend you're not the champion. Here's the title, we're going to focus on everything else. And they go off the air, so finally it's man-on-woman violence. We give the RKO to Alexa. Not really my favorite thing, especially because she's 5 feet tall and he's a big dude. With the given absurd nature of this thing, with the fire and teleportation and changing outfits, it's not as bad because it doesn't feel as real. It's not like Alexa was Alexa from a year ago and wrestling Asuka. And then Randy Orton comes out and gives Alexa Bliss an RKO. That would feel totally different. But this is so not science fiction, but this is so fantasy and so bizarre and so LSD inspired that it's just kind of like, okay. It didn't have the creepy, awful, like usual feel that a big dude giving his finishing move to a woman would feel like. You know what I mean? It didn't feel like in '09 when he DDT'd Stephanie McMahon. It didn't, which is good. I don't want it to feel that way. If someone's watching the show for the first time, they're never watching again. Is my biggest issue, I guess. The Royal Rumble. Speaking of Alexa, both Royal Rumble matches are complete toss-ups for me. For the title matches, I'm assuming Roman retains against Owens, and it'll be great. And Owens will take dangerous bumps that they won't replay, and all for no reason, and do a great job. And then they'll just have him never mention him, and do nothing with him after that, and stop and start go with him like they tend to do with him. Sorry to be a negative Nancy, but geez, they've done this a lot of times. Drew, I just hope beats Goldberg in whatever 3-4 minute. It's a spot with a referee. It's not, it's really a match. I really hope that's just how they just move on. I just don't think any fans really want to see it. These are the people who want to see it, because I remember looking on the day Goldberg showed up and disrespected the legends, and then said Drew doesn't respect the legends. They said I saw all these comments on WWE's Twitter saying none of us want this. None of us want this. Who wants this? Nobody. Please don't do this. And I saw one comment of some random person saying, I don't watch anymore, but I'll watch again if Goldberg wins the title, and then not again when he loses it. Oh, well, good, because that's who we want to attract. And that seems to be who we're trying to attract. People who remember Goldberg and don't care about anything else, and they're going to watch this one match, and then they're never going to watch again. So alienate the other 99.99% of your audience for a few nostalgic idiots. And wrestling fans, we are nostalgic idiots, but we know when the other party doesn't care back. We know. This time we especially know. Edge and Goldberg coming back could not be more polar opposite vibes and feelings from fans to the performers and the entire product. Women's Rumble, I think it's 1 of 5. It's going to be Alexa, Charlotte, Rhea Ripley, Bayley, or Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair is a great documentary on the network. Once again, the network does everything best, and then they just don't reference it. But a lot of fans change their minds or become fans of certain wrestlers through network stuff. I think Kevin Owens is a great example of that. They did a Liv Morgan one, which was all right. This is how we get to like people. The Drew McIntyre one about his year. Rhea Ripley, they did one. This is. They don't realize we're using these to get attached. I'm not going to talk about the NBC Peacock thing. I don't have it in me. It doesn't really. I don't know. The only thing I can say about the NBC Peacock buying the network thing is this. Wrestlers are in danger of going from not being allowed to look into the camera to being told to look directly into the camera and smirk like Jim from The Office. So I'm not looking forward to that. Be that as it may, is The Office NBC? Yeah. Why do I think it's a Netflix show? It is, but it's not. So one of those 5. Yeah, who knows? Alexa winning it and challenging. I mean, they put so much airtime into her that it's definitely you can make an argument, a good argument. Bayley's on fire. Bayley's another one. When they gave her the Austin podcast, holy crap, that was huge. Anything with Austin, that's huge. Let me see if my computer's running out of... I had to move it to another room because my stupid neighbors... I got a little juice left for you. Personally, I'm the world's biggest Charlotte Flair fan. I don't want to see her win it. I don't want to see her win it 2 years in a row. I don't want to see anyone win it 2 years in a row. So I think Lacey, somebody screwing her makes the most sense, especially because she's got the tag match in the middle of the program. I think her and Asuka lose the tag titles, by the way. I'm going to run these down real quick. Riddle might win the U.S. title thanks to Cedric screwing up, and finally the whole thing implodes. I think it's too soon to break the whole thing up. Maybe Riddle will just beat him. I don't know. Maybe Lashley will just beat him. That's a hard one to call. I don't think they're that behind Riddle. I think they'll just have Lashley beat him after all this, and that'll be that. I haven't heard from Keith Lee in a bit, unless he's been wrestling on a show but not Hulu. Rhea Ripley's a great candidate to win the Rumble. Definitely. I don't see Asuka defending it at Mania. Let's put it that way. I think they'll get it off Asuka. Maybe at whatever that February pay-per-view is or something. I don't see them giving Asuka. They're never really behind Asuka. She's just there to hold it and do whatever she does. So, I mean, the natural lot, Rhea going after Charlotte and trying to win a Raw Women's Championship to, make last year come full circle makes the most sense. I don't know. It's been weird with Rhea off NXT, though. I don't know. The Men's Rumble. What are the other possibilities? Bianca could win it. She had the documentary people like. I think Bianca needs to nearly win it. If she doesn't win it, she should nearly win it. Bayley could screw her. Really, Bianca, just make the people happy, for God's sake. Let Bianca toss Bayley. I don't really know what your other options are. So who knows? Because I don't know who Sasha's opponent would be. I think they'll keep it on Sasha till Mania. I think they'll give Sasha the singles, and Sasha Bayley is always the go-to, but we just did Sasha Bayley 80 times, and they ended it with the cell. If you end it with the cell, you end it with the cell. It's over. I think it should be anyway. So, if Bayley and Sasha hadn't touched in the last year or two, I'd say Bayley Sasha. But now I don't want to see. We just saw it. Sasha Bianca, Sasha Rhea. Nah, you want to put Sasha with a heel and not Bayley. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough call. Maybe Sasha doesn't have it at whatever. No, Sasha and Alexa. Thing is, if Alexa wins it, whatever woman Alexa goes after, that woman has to play all of those little reindeer games this whole time. This is going long. Okay, the Men's Rumble real quick. I'm even more befuddled. I don't even know who the main guys are. I think Edge, Orton are the two biggest players in the whole thing. Rumors have been going around that Fiend and Edge might do a thing, but some other people think Fiend will just be a bigger babyface because he'll come back burnt, which means he'll be a Bernie face. I don't know if the Fiend will come back in a new incarnation because now he's been all burnt up. So is he going to come back as the Bernie Sanders mittens meme? I don't know what the fuck he's supposed to come back as. Could Fiend cause some kind of distraction for Orton so that Edge takes Orton out of the match and Edge has some comeuppance there, then Edge can move on? Or is there something going on with Edge Fiend Orton is really the only thing I could tell you for the Rumble. Jey Uso is in it. I don't see Jey Uso winning the thing. I don't really know. So I like matches where I don't know the outcome. I have no idea where Mania is going. Why does it feel like Mania had plans and Mania was scrapped? Because they did have plans. They had plans to have it in front of people in LA. And I was going to go with my buddy Brian Yang, and now it's going to be in Texas? Florida. One of the two. With no people anyway, so whatever. What the hell do we care? If you're watching on a network, who cares what WrestleMania is? If WrestleMania is in your home again, the second year in a row, 2 nights, no noise, except your goddamn neighbors watching their fucking TV too loud. Maybe maybe someone will drop them on their head, on the ring apron, which, if you didn't know, is the hardest part of the ring. I will watch the NXT this week and the Royal Rumble as well. So we'll do a Rumble thing. I have no idea how to cover Rumbles. I'll do the very best I can. I don't think I'm going to go person by person, entrance and elimination by elimination, because I'll be writing the whole time and not watching any of it, which is sometimes a problem when you're taking notes for these things. So yeah, the Royal Rumble should be good. I'm predicting the two men's world titles stay where they are. The Rumble winners, I have no fucking idea. It's the hardest part of the ring, everybody. This podcast was terrible. I want to give it negative 489 stars. You guys are the bee's knees. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.